Thank you, Senator. I certainly associate my remarks with my colleagues today, and I'm also big fans of both of you. However, this is not personal, we all know. However, there's always a however these days. I was kind of taken aback by Representative Sharkey's comments about looking towards the Connecticut legislature for how we work together. And I have to say, I am very proud in lots of ways of what we do in the state and how we do work together. But I guess it throws me a little bit when I see, that we come out with budgets on joint committees like this, bipartisan committees, obviously, when, our ranking members aren't even allowed in the room to discuss it. And I understand, the answer will be it has never been done, or this is the starting point, and but I guess if all of us are really interested in a bipartisan budget and bipartisan decision making, then the only way we can actually accomplish the goal is to start out, in a bipartisan way, and that's very problematic to me, and I know it's very problematic to people of the state. I have one question, actually. I know that Senator Daley had mentioned that when one of my colleagues brought up the 30% corporate tax surcharge, and you had mentioned that that has been done before in recessions. Has it been done in all the recessions that we've had in recent history?
I couldn't tell you for sure. I know it was done in the last recession.
Okay, so that was we're talking about 2003?
Right.
And since 2003, and I know Senator Boucher had brought this up, have our jobs and businesses grown since then? I mean, I don't believe they have since 2003.
I think that we all know some have grown, some have remained stagnant, some have failed.
I guess that, to me, this is not about businesses. This is not about Fairfield County only. This is not about, personal income taxes. But we need to do something about the fact that this is not a friendly place to do business. And unless we have our businesses here and bring businesses in, we can't have jobs. Therefore, people can't work. Therefore, they can't do their own thing and help make their own money. I almost feel like the only business left in the state of Connecticut is going to be sign making saying get out. Because once they get to the line of Connecticut, from whether it's New York or Massachusetts or Rhode Island, there is no reason for them to stay here. As I said, I have respect for this committee, but as my colleagues, are very disappointed and would hope that going forward there can be some sort of bipartisan work, because I know that our side of the aisle has clearly been ready, willing, and able to be involved with you on that.
The majority Democrats in the Connecticut State Legislature came out with their proposal for a state budget for the next 2 years on Thursday, and interestingly enough, that budget was decided basically only by them, even though this is a bipartisan legislature. And the heads of the Republican Party on the Finance Committee, called the ranking members, were not even included in the room when these discussions were going on, which clearly is a problem, a huge problem, especially in this day and age when we're dealing with upwards of $8 billion deficit in the next 2 years. Having said that, part of their proposal was a $3 billion tax increase over the next 2 years. Now, I don't think there's one person in the state of Connecticut, no matter what they do for a living or don't do for a living, is not hurting because of the recession. In addition to that $3 billion tax increase, it was not just on individuals, it was also on corporations. There was, in addition to all the taxes that corporations and businesses pay in this state, they added a 30% surcharge above and beyond what they're getting paid. Now, the reality is, and people in the state of Connecticut know, businesses have been fleeing left and right for many years now, and therefore jobs have been lost. And certainly that's not going to keep businesses here, nor is it going to bring people into the state of Connecticut. Property tax exemptions that many people rely on, individuals in each one of our towns, are being phased out and excluded from the budget. Income taxes are increasing by large numbers. There are so many issues with the budget, and we as Republicans are hoping that we will be included in these debates, and if we're not included in them, we're going to have to do what we have to do to make sure the people of the state of Connecticut are treated as fairly as possible.